So let's start with some grade 7 oral tests to start with, because we've got a few grade 7s here. And first of all, the first thing you have to do is to sing back the upper part of a two-part phrase. Okay, now I'm going to make it a little bit shorter to start with, to just make it a bit easier. Let's start with Daniel. You happy with this, Daniel?
No, but
yeah, because everyone just loves to sing, don't they? Especially when it's live,
yeah.
And especially when it's being recorded as well. So, okay, I'm just going to make you a short little phrase, okay? Not even the full length at the moment. I'll play it to you twice. Daniel.
Da 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 da.
Correct. Okay. Right now, someone is hiding. I think the other grade 7. Could they unhide themselves? All right. And if you unmute your microphone now. Just sing that phrase back. Excellent. Okay. So, could you tell me what the type of cadence is at the end of this phrase? There is a key chord. Rachel.
All right, it's interrupted.
Yes, it's an interrupted cadence. That's correct. Okay, now also in grade 8, you have to actually identify the chords that are used. Could you tell me what the chords are?
Oh, it's the dominant and the subdominant, isn't it? The 5th and the 6th for the interrupted.
Yeah, 5, 6, but we don't call that subdominant, we call that submediant.
Submediant, sorry.
That's correct, 5 to 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, next thing, let's try a general question. And actually, we're going to go around everyone. Okay, so if you notice the way that the oral tests are built up, right from the beginning grade, right, grade 1 talks about dynamics and articulation like staccato or legato. And then through the grades, we add some more things to notice, like the tempo, does it change? Then we talk about, what's the next thing? Like the character of the piece, the tonality, major or minor, and then you go to the start and period, I think it's grade 5, and then the structure and the texture in grade 6. And as you're going through the grades, you're adding more and more layers to your understanding. All right, so this means that everyone should be able to pick out something that they notice. All right, even we've got a couple of grade 3s amongst us. Okay, so let's have a little listen to this piece here. Okay, and maybe Harshini and the other grade Yunjin, you would like to just think about something you notice, maybe the dynamics, or whether it's staccato, legato, something like that. Okay. Harshini, what did you notice?
I noticed that it ended in a major, and that you played at the beginning you played forte, and it was staccato in the middle.
Okay, right. Leave some things for other people to say. Okay, that's all good stuff. Okay, Yunjin, what did you notice?
I noticed a little bit of a pattern with the staccato and the legato. It was going like legato, then staccato, then legato, then staccato, and etc.
Okay, and what about your sister? What did she notice?
It was more like steady and legato near the beginning, but there was like a gradual build up, and where it was semiquavers and staccato.
Okay, right. Now there's still some stuff we can talk about. No one's mentioned, for example, the character of the piece, or the style and period, or the texture or the structure. So, Rachel, Daniel, Terence.
I would have said the character of the piece was happy.
Okay, and what makes it happy? Because usually this question in an exam, they say what musical features give it its character. So you have to say something about the music that describes the character.
Well, happy, but can you hear me? Well, the happy side of it, because it was bright and cheerful, it wasn't sort of slow or legato. To some extent, part of the Lego, I suppose.
Okay, so it wasn't slow and legato. So in other words, it was fast, quite fast, and a lot of staccato playing, and the major key someone mentioned earlier. Right, these are musical characteristics that give the piece its mood, its character. Yeah, so that's what they're after in that question. You have to name something about the music that gives a certain emotion, as it were. Okay, so we're left with Rachel and Daniel. Daniel was going for his microphone button earlier. What were you going to say? You're muted again.
Sorry, yeah. So I took that the legato and the staccato alternated between the hands. So I had it that certainly at the beginning, I think the right hand was staccato with the left hand legato, and then in the middle it seemed to switch and then switch back again. But I think that the major key, the sprightly, animated feel to the piece, and the pace gave it that slightly cheerful happiness feeling. The dynamics seemed pretty consistent to me. I think there was a bit where it perhaps went a bit more piano, but it was very terraced. It was very a quick change. It wasn't a gradual change. So I always forget whether that's the Baroque or classical period.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to commit, because no one's actually given me. You've given me a hint of what it could do.
I would say I think it's more classical.
Why?
I think because classical is the busier accompaniment, isn't it? I know. I'm going with classical.
Yeah, classical is good, but I'm going to explore your reasons a little bit more. Rachel.
So I put classical as well, and
Why?
I thought it was in three time. And the reason I chose classical because it was a melody with chordal accompaniment, and I thought there was a bit of Alberti bass included in there.
It's close to Alberti bass, isn't it? It's like not quite Alberti bass. That would be more like that's an Alberti bass. Yeah, but yeah. It's tuned with an accompaniment, and it's sort of quite refined and not over embellished.
And it was a simple melody that was repeated.
Yeah, exactly. So that's more of the classical style, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay. So that's a little bit of oral training. Good. Anyone want to mention? I suppose you sort of mentioned this texture when you said tune and accompaniment. Yeah. Anyone want to suggest which word? Homophonic or polyphonic would fit this piece?
I would say polyphonic. There was quite a few different pieces simultaneously played. I'll say polyphonic.
Well, polyphonic would be different voices with equal value that just are interweaving with each other. And yeah, occasionally you do get little answering phrases. And that little ba, 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 ba in the left hand sort of answers, but generally it's not, I wouldn't say the left hand has equal importance. It does a little sometimes say, hello, I'm here too, sort of thing, but mostly it's a tune with an accompaniment, I would say. So more towards the homophonic and the polyphonic, just a hint of it occasionally, yeah. Okay, right, now, would anyone, oh, they've got some other people. Oh, Rishabh's there. You're up in the little tiny corner. You haven't said anything. Have you got anything that you noticed about the piece? I didn't see you there.
I think it's. I think the song is in a major key, and for me, I think it's from Baroque, because the music sound kind of like harpsichord kind of music to me. So that's why I think it's from the Baroque period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, we decided it was classical, but the thing is, there's an overlap, isn't there? Always, you know. A lot of times there are elements of the classical period or the Baroque period that filter through to the classical period, and there's not like a dividing line where overnight everything changed. Yeah.
Yes.
So, like someone mentioned, I think Daniel, you mentioned about the terrace dynamics. And sometimes the early classical composers had a little bit of that idea still going on. The dynamics didn't quite have the same range as the Romantic period, but yeah, they are a little bit more diverse. There was a bit more crescendo, decrescendo than you might get in Baroque. Okay, now let's do a little bit of playing to each other, if you've got pieces that are ready. So, anyone want to put a hand up in the air? Yes, okay, Yanjin. And what are you going to play for us today?
You open up. Oh, there we go. I'm going to be playing Innocence, but it isn't finished yet.
Ah, you're going to play Innocence. Now, I remember on our last hangout a month ago, you just learnt the first line, or you were starting to learn the first line, a couple of bars of it. And now we'll see how much improvement since a month ago. All right? You've gone over the top of the end. You've run off the edge of the cliff. Okay. Now, to be fair to you, you've only learnt that last couple. You've only been looking at that last couple of bars, like this morning, weren't you? I remember we had a lesson this morning and we just started on that, all right? But up until that last couple of bars, you were playing really, really nicely. Okay. Yeah. And I remember the last time you played just one line and you were struggling a little bit with that first line. So there's a major improvement since then. One thing you could look at, I'm not talking about the new bit, you just got to learn the notes there, don't worry about that, all right? But a little bit of dynamics we could put in here. Now, for example, in bar 9, it says P, and then in bar 11, it says Cresque. You know what that means, don't you?
Crescendo.
Yeah. Okay, so. And forte. Yeah, so there's a big sort of like a rise in the volume there. Let's just try that from 9.
9.
Yeah, bar 9, where it says P leggero, yes? From there. Okay, so a little crescendo through that, yeah, to get it louder. Okay, and some of the other stuff you're doing really nicely. I liked, for example, what you did in bar 7. And in there, you've got like the little 2-note slurs with a little lean on the first note and lightening the second note. You did it beautifully. Lean and then lift. So you lean and then lift. Perfectly. All right. Another thing you're doing really well, it's strange actually, but semiquavers, a lot of people will be quite uneven. Yeah, and not playing them evenly. But you had a nice, perfectly smooth semiquavers. So all good work, right? Hoshini, what would you like to play for us?
I would like to play Andante.
The Haydn Trumpet Concerto Andante, yes? That's another grade 3 piece. B2, isn't it? Okay, when you're ready then. Thank you very much. Okay, got some clapping going on there, so people have appreciated that. Now, can I draw your attention to a little tiny rest in bar 6 and in bar 14? It's exactly the same one. So you do this, off. Now, what you were playing, what finger were you playing on there? Dum, 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 yeah. And somehow you're just sliding through the rest without letting go. Yeah. Can you just try for me bar 5 and 6 going into the beginning of 7? That's, you got it. Yeah, you see? Just that little rest. That's worth another mark in the exam. Okay. Right, now we've got a couple of grade 7s. Who's going to be the bravest, or the first brave one? Yep, okay. All right, what are you going to play for us? Your microphone is muted at the moment.
I'm gonna do the bagatelle, the Beethoven.
I think we heard it last time, but you've done some more work on it since then, haven't you, the bagatelle? All right, and you're going to play it all the way through?
I'm gonna try, but the end is gonna be really slow, probably. And maybe
All right.
here.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Now, the ending, you are not keeping in time with the beat.
Okay.
All right. Now, for example, and you're just like throwing away those arpeggios, yeah? Just keep them very like metronomic for now. All right. Can we just try maybe playing the last, I don't know, from bar 84? Oh, no, bar 82. Let's try from bar 82 with a metronome set on 100, just to steady your beat a little bit. No, you're going too fast there, right?
Yeah.
So that's me. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Your metronome is measuring quavers. When I said 100, I mean the quavers are 100. So quaver, 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 bum. Just 2 notes for each beat. Yeah, no, don't rush it. The first semiquaver is the left hand. Yeah, let's have a listen. Dun, 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 like that. Yeah. Yeah, the chord missing in the last but one bar, and a few A flats were missing along the way, but you're still learning this last section, aren't you? Okay, just use your metronome to get the rhythm tidy for a while, yes? Okay, good. Daniel.
Yes.
What are you going to delight us with?
I thought, well, I don't know if delight's the right word, but I thought I might do, just in contrast to the previous piece, try my therapy of Moonlight.
Ah, the modern one.
Modern, yeah.
Now, this will be something very different for a lot of you. Okay?
Yeah,
so,
very different.
All right, let's have a listen to that. Okay. What do people think of that?
Beautiful. Top class.
Okay.
Few mistakes, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of rewinds and everything. Yeah. The rhythm in that Pure Mosso from 27. I think you understood yourself. I think 28, the second beat was really late, wasn't it? You were fishing for the chord a little bit there.
Was, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not right. No, actually something a little bit easier though to fix, maybe. Okay, I'm going to do a little quiz, theory quiz for everybody. Daniel, can you play the first bar? And actually, before you do, I want everyone else to suggest, without looking at the book if they've got it, what is the tempo that Daniel's playing, like an Italian term? That's it. 1, 2, dun, dun.
I'd say like larghetto.
A larghetto, okay.
In a largo.
Anyone else got a thought?
Grave as well.
Grave?
Yeah.
I think grave would be a lot slower than that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Not everyone knows their theory terms. Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's like that one beginning with like an L, like a len something. But I don't remember it. But that was like mediumly slow. That one.
Yeah. Well, it actually is marked lento.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you've actually got the book in front of you, haven't you? Well, you could have had anyway, because you're on the same grade. But anyway, I'm still suggesting though, Daniel, possibly 60 is a little bit slower, is it? Just a shade. It felt a tiny bit. You're getting really quite familiar with this now, and it could be a little bit rushed there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to just make the whole thing a little bit more atmospheric.
Okay. Yeah.
Not so worried too much about, you know, everything, like all these different notes and everything, but try and go for the mood of the piece.
Yeah.
You can really be quite sort of a dramatic. Ral Poco a Poco from 31. Let's just try it. Ral, the Poco, and when you get to the end, be just so atmospheric. So it starts quite strong, quite fast, but then we're getting slower and softer and dim and P and PPP and everything else, yeah? Okay, now I'm not sure if it's Skype, but I couldn't hear half of those chords. Maybe Skype's not picking them up because they're so quiet. So maybe you're playing them so beautifully quiet, or maybe you're not playing them at all.
I think certainly the last bar was really quiet.
Yeah. Actually, playing PPP is actually quite difficult, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. But you don't always have to rush semiquavers. People see semiquavers and they think, oh, paddock, right? Da, 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 da. It's got like a little bit of a shape to it, hasn't it?
Hmm.
Da, 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 da. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's insistent tune, imploring almost. Yeah, listen to me. It's like that sort of tune. You're not listening, so I'm going to repeat myself over and over and over. You see? That sort of idea. Okay, just get in the mood of the piece. Right, now we're with Rachel. She's getting herself ready by the piano. What's Rachel?
So I was going to attempt just to play a little bit of Fantasia in C minor.
Mm-hmm. You're doing the grade 8. How much of it do you want to play for us?
Oh, I'm going to aim for like 2 pages, but if I struggle, then I'll just stop.
Okay, let's do the first 2 pages as you go along. Yeah.
I just want the first page. What do you think?
Up to you, whatever you feel comfortable
We'll
with.
just see how we get on anyway. There's no pedals there. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I'm going to stop there. I'm a bit tired.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. As long as you feel comfortable. Right. Now, obviously, you understand, and everyone who knows this piece will know that that's going to go a little bit faster eventually, isn't it? But it's fine to do it as you are at that speed. In fact, I think it's Itzhak Perlman, the famous violinist, who said to play fast, practice slowly. Yeah, and that's important that you do that slow practice. But when you practice slowly, try and keep a beat very, very steady. All right. So could you just, for example, just the first page, what speed do you think you could keep steady at?
I can do it at 50 for quaver.
Okay. So would you like to put a 50 on and then stay absolutely in time with that? Because that's the most important thing, keeping the beat totally steady.
I can only do that in practice, but there you go. This gives
Well, let's go now. Just the first page where you feel more comfortable, yeah?
Right.
Right, hang on. You didn't even put the first note on a click. Go with a few clicks in your mind. When you start with a metronome, go tick, tick, and I'll like get into the motion of the metronome before you start, and boom, yeah?
Okay. 1, 2.
Okay, so the trill, you panicked and you actually arrived at the end before the metronome had finished. So it's actually not that fast. What have we got? G and an F, isn't it? Yeah, don't be a panic bird. You're ahead again. See the next trill. Ya da 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 da. Exactly on the beats. You see, and you get to the end and you have to wait for the metronome to catch you up. Just relax. You're half a beat ahead. Better. Getting ahead. Yeah. At times you're still getting ahead, right? You've got to so focus onto that metronome beat. Otherwise, it's not really helping you. All right. Good try. Good try. And you know, everyone listening and being recorded is nerve-wracking.
I'm not too fussed when I'm recording, Robert. Just if I can just get it out, I don't care.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, it's more nerve-wracking when you do it on your own, isn't it?